Let's get to it, and we'll begin with a few scheduling announcements today. President Trump will be hosting the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney tomorrow for a working meeting here at the White House. On Thursday, the president will host his 8th cabinet meeting alongside his incredible team. Also on Thursday afternoon, President Trump will host the president of Finland, Alexander Stubb, for a working meeting here at the White House. The president also wanted me to relay his congratulations to Japan for electing their next prime minister, a highly respected person who also happens to be the first female to hold the position for our great ally. While President Trump continues to negotiate peace deals, meets with world leaders, and celebrates the 250th birthday of our United States Navy, as you saw he and the First Lady do just yesterday, Democrats, unfortunately, are continuing to play political games. And we are now in day 6 of the Democrat federal government shutdown.
Even worse, the shutdown doesn't spare those who defend the country. U.S. military service members, men and women in uniform risking their lives every single day, are now working without pay. They continue to serve on the front lines, protect the nation's interests, and carry out their missions while their families back home wonder how they'll make ends meet. How is that fair? And as the crisis deepens, the ripple effect grows. Every day that the government stays closed, the economic impact becomes more severe. Federal contractors are losing work, small businesses that rely on government operations are suffering, and morale among government employees is collapsing. The shutdown isn't just a pause in politics, it's a grinding halt that touches almost every corner of American life. But here's where things get even more frustrating. While ordinary Americans feel the pain, the halls of Congress are filled with finger pointing in political theater. Each side blames the other. The White House insists that Democrats are holding the country hostage over radical demands. Democrats say they're standing up to reckless policies. And caught in the middle, millions of citizens who just want their government to function.
Millions of American federal workers are under enormous financial stress as a result, wondering how they will pay their bills and take care of their families. If the Democrats do not vote to open the government tonight, federal workers will not receive their next full paycheck. Additionally, the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children will run out of federal money very soon. This program provides vouchers to buy infant formula, fresh fruits and vegetables, and other healthy foods for low-income families. It can be easily fully funded if Democrats simply vote tonight to reopen the government. Also, our incredible military service members who risk their lives to preserve and defend our country are now working without pay and will miss their next paychecks if this Democrat shutdown does not end tonight.
Let's break this down. The proposed Democratic funding plan would reportedly spend nearly $200 billion over the next decade to provide health care for illegal immigrants and other non-citizens. To put that in perspective, that's enough money to fund the entire children's health insurance program, which covers millions of low-income American kids. So, while struggling families are waiting for medical care, the administration says Democrats are prioritizing benefits for people who entered the country illegally. Does that sound like fairness or politics gone too far? And here's where the debate turns fairy. Under this plan, the White House says illegal immigrants would once again become eligible for Medicaid benefits, reopening access that had previously been restricted. Even more shocking, the administration claims the proposal would require Medicaid to pay more for emergency care given to illegal immigrants than it does for elderly Americans, children, or disabled citizens. Think about that for a moment. More money for those who cross the border unlawfully than for those who've paid into the system their entire lives. How do you think hardworking taxpayers feel about that?
The Republican-backed clean and nonpartisan funding bill fully funds this important food aid program, gets our troops paid, and reopens the government. So all of this begs the question, what is the Democrat ongoing shutdown truly about? The sad truth, we believe, is that the Democrats intentionally shut down the government and are inflicting this pain on American citizens to try and demand free health care for illegal aliens. Of course, this is an indefensible and truly radical policy to be in favor of, let alone to use as the primary reason to shut down the United States government. So the Democrats and their allies are desperately lying about their true motivations. We have to set the record straight with the facts so the American people understand what's really at play here. House Republicans passed a clean and nonpartisan funding bill to keep the government open and ensure our troops and other hardworking Americans are paid. Every single House Democrat except one voted against this clean and nonpartisan funding bill. Senate Republicans have subsequently tried to pass this same clean funding bill 4 separate times, and they will.
The White House insists this bill is straightforward, no hidden agendas, no political riders. It simply funds the government and pays America's workers. But Democrats say it's not that simple. They argue that this so-called clean bill still fails to address key issues, accusing Republicans of pushing a one-sided plan that ignores broader priorities like health care and immigration reform. So, who's telling the truth? Or more importantly, who's really standing up for the American people? Behind the political drama lies a harsh reality. Every failed vote means another day without pay for federal employees, another day of closed offices, delayed benefits, and broken trust. Families are caught in the middle of a high-stakes chess game where no one seems willing to make the first move toward compromise. And while politicians trade sound bites on television, Americans are left wondering, how much longer will this go on? Republicans argue they've done their part. They passed the same type of bill 13 times under President Biden without controversy. So why, they ask, are Democrats suddenly opposing it now? Is it genuine concern over the contents of the bill or a calculated political maneuver ahead of election season? The timing, many say, speaks
costing
volumes.
Americans their jobs, threatening our military readiness, harming our economy, and causing chaos, all to help the illegals who broke into our country. Instead of holding illegal aliens accountable and removing them from our country, which is what this administration is trying to do every day, the Democrats want to give them the free benefits paid for by the American taxpayer. Democrats in 2025 are for illegal aliens first and Americans last. This is the reality we are unfortunately facing right now in Washington, D.C. President Trump and Republicans will not give in to these radical demands. The president and Republicans have a sacred responsibility to serve and protect the interests of their constituents, the American people. That's why we are backing a clean and nonpartisan funding bill with no strings attached to reopen the government. Democrats should do what they did 13 separate times under Joe Biden and vote for this exact same type of funding bill. Now the Senate will vote tonight for the 5th time to reopen the government on the 6th day of this shutdown. All we need are an additional 5 Democrat senators to end this madness and vote for the clean funding bill to reopen the government. If you are an American watching at home right now, call your Democrat senators and tell them to do the right thing and end this shutdown. With that, I will take